You wouldn't believe it, but this guy has been waiting here for a while. His smile is like a cat waiting for fried chicken. Later, the police found a huge stash of legal books in the main character's house. What a jackpot for the prosecutor. It's not your average read, but for legal nerds. Plus, a photo of the prosecutor shaking hands with the criminal adorned the wall, resembling a social media hand-in-hand post. Soon, the main character was jailed, facing the prosecutor who judged his wife, thinking, what a surprise. The main character exuded confidence, saying, I killed the big guy, but those words clearly had no weight as evidence. 10 years later, the main character became a legal expert, memorizing the rules effortlessly. As the prosecutor listened to the main character's analysis, his face crinkled like he just bit into a lemon, completely clueless about what the guy was up to. Out of nowhere, the main character said, Remember when you liked making deals with criminals? Well, let's make a deal. I just want a comfy spot in my jail cell. He asked the prosecutor for the comfiest bed around, promising to admit to all his crimes if they could hook him up. And the prosecutor thought, you think I'm falling for that? The main character flashed a mysterious grin, while the prosecutor remained oblivious. Unbeknownst to him, his daughter was unboxing a horror movie right in. The little girl's scream echoed. Police had the tape, but couldn't charge the main character, who wore a mask. The police suspected, but lacked evidence. The prosecutor reluctantly agreed to the hero's terms. Soon, the plushiest bet arrived. This caused a stir among the prisoners, as if they were thinking, is it someone's birthday? The first hearing left the prosecutor speechless. The main character rose to defend himself, like a live performance, a perfect comparison to his case. The lawyer's jaws dropped. The judge was helpless. No proof of guilt, so he was acquitted. But the main character wasn't happy at all. He publicly called out the judge like he was casting a spell. You knew I was guilty. Why let me go? He splashed cold water right on the judge's face. Furious after the slap, the judge jailed the main character again. Soon, the prosecutor visited again. He hoped the main character would plead guilty, but what he wanted was far from straightforward. He was leveling up his demands. The main character asked the prosecutor to bring him a fresh T-bone steak, like a starving foodie. After their last encounter, the prosecutor was not about to fall for any of his tricks. But the main character then revealed, I've got that corrupt lawyer who defended the criminal 10 years ago. Though skeptical, the prosecutor found the corrupt lawyer vanished. In a bind, he agreed to the main character's demands. Fresh T-bone steak was promptly delivered to the jail, but the warden wasn't a fan of the main character, giving him extra security checks on purpose. However, when they handed the steak to the main character, it had already surpassed the allotted time, yet he still held up his end of the bargain. When the prosecutor arrived, they found the lawyer's briefcase, showing everything was under control. They unearthed the lawyer, trapped underground with an oxygen tank that had long conked out, a flawless plan at play. If the warden hadn't delayed 8 minutes, he wouldn't have died. The main character, in jail, outsmarted everyone outside. This was the most satisfying revenge I've ever seen. Those killers only got 3 years, which is utterly outrageous. The main character, seeking vengeance, didn't just dismember the criminals into 25 pieces. He bravely took on the entire judicial. He was stuck in jail but had everyone wrapped around his finger. Talk about impressive. Soon, the prosecutor reached out to one of the main character's former colleagues and learned he had once been a military genius at the CIA, easily predicting enemies' every move. He was undoubtedly a tactical genius. If the main character was in jail, he might have wanted to be locked up on purpose. Unless they disregarded evidence and went straight for him, the prosecutor didn't buy into this being real. He believed the main character's jail killings were aided by accomplices, so he asked the judge to block all contact. The judge agreed, but at that moment, the phone on the table rang, only for the jaw-dropping moment when the judge got blown up. The main character was still in jail. How could he manage all of this? It's utterly mind-boggling. With chaos reigning, the prosecutor was entirely frantic, racing to find out what the main character wanted. The main character made it clear, drop charges, release him by 6 a.m., or he'd kill everyone. Clearly, no compromise. Time was running out, and everyone held their breath. Nobody dared to imagine the horrors he could unleash. After 6, nothing happened. Everyone, including the prosecutor, sighed with relief. Little did they know. The next second, the prosecutor's assistant and 5 Justice Department members perished instantly in their exploding car. Police found explosive devices, Preliminary investigation showed the main character just wanted to warn. Strangely, there were no explosives in the prosecutor's car, leaving everyone puzzled about what he was really after. Officials were attending a funeral when a terrifying drone opened fire, hitting more members of the Justice Department, sending the city into pure. The mayor declared emergency, deploying police and armed vehicles for night patrols. Ironically, it was caused by a man in prison. After the bloodshed, the overworked prosecutor, guided by the main character, discovered a suspicious property. To uncover the truth quickly, he called in friends to break in, finding a hidden passageway inside. He proceeded through the passage and stumbled upon various weapons and explosives. To their horror, there was complete surveillance equipment in the passage. The surveillance covers every corner, ending at the main character's cell, unraveling his prison revenge plot. The prosecutor rushed to the cell, only to find the main character had mysteriously vanished. Seeing the forged city hall pass in the passage, the prosecutor realized had become an unstoppable cleaner,